Some verses follow us from Sunday school to hospital rooms, from condolence cards to sleepless nights. The Lord is my shepherd. Psalm 23 verse 1. It sounds safe and gentle, but familiarity can blunt a blade. We recite it, yet it stops piercing us. This psalm wasn't born in a palace but on ridgelines, in caves, under pursuit and sweat. David isn't sketching a dreamy poet. He writes like a real shepherd who struck lions and bears and counted sheep in the black of night. He knows the musk of wet wool and the hush of wolves waiting. So today we won't read it as a funeral lullaby. We'll open it as a last stand of faith, a survival declaration. If you've walked through shadow and wondered where God is in the silence, let Psalm 23 regain the edge it had the day it was written. Here's our plan, with the usual order flipped. First, we drop Psalm 23 into history and David's shepherding craft to cut through sentimental fog. Next, we quote the core text, unpack a few Hebrew words, then tackle 3 common misunderstandings that soften this psalm. After that, we draw out 3 key meanings along the axis of survival, guidance, and confrontation, and finish with 5 measurable practices. Finally, a 48-hour call to action that turns comfort into a rule of life. Context is the key before feelings take the wheel. David writes from a semi-desert ecosystem where seasonal grass is thread-thin and still water is liquid gold. Shepherds in Judah moved constantly, reading terrain with eyes and memory, seeking narrow tracks between knife-edged rock and shadowed ravines. Green pastures, there aren't northern lawns. They're scattered tufts fed by night dew, enough for today, not a week. David is not only a poet, he's a warrior, musician, fugitive, then king. Before he led people, he led sheep. The rod and the staff aren't decor, they're a weapon and a navigation tool. The rod, think a dense club for striking predators. The staff with its crook for pulling strays from cliff edges. Timeline-wise, this psalm reflects many seasons. Comfort in pasture, darkness in the valley, confrontation before enemies, royal flavor in anointing, and the destination of the Lord's house. That flow shows a survival map forged in heat, not a single mood poem. Scholars like Craig Keener and D.A. Carson note that shepherd is a leadership metaphor across the ancient Near East, applied to kings and deities. So, the Lord is my shepherd is political, theological, who truly governs my life, not crown, not ego. Core line, Psalm 23, verses 1 through 6. The opening address matters. The Lord is my shepherd. That possessive is not religious flourish, it is covenant. David doesn't say a shepherd, but my shepherd, personal attachment and mutual responsibility. I shall not want isn't a luxury promise. It's enough for the mission. He makes me lie down in green pastures, implies the shepherd's active role. Sheep only lie down when 4 conditions are met. No fear, no friction, no hunger, no pests. The shepherd must create that environment. He leads me beside still waters. In desert terrain, quiet water means safety. A fast current can sweep a wool-heavy body away. Stillness here is not vacation. It's the discipline of peace. He restores my soul, uses the Hebrew verb shuv, to return, bring back, turn around. Picture a cast sheep flipped on its back, dying unless the shepherd arrives. Restoration is a rescue, not a pat on the head. He leads me in paths of righteousness, promises not ease but right paths, morally sound and strategically wise. Then the crest. Even though I walk through the valley of deep darkness, I will not fear harm, for you are with me. Here the grammar shifts from he to you. Description becomes dialogue. Theology becomes intimacy. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Comfort comes from weaponry and correction done in love. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. 3 layers of honor in the line of fire. The finale. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord for length of days. The verb radaf, follow, flips our posture. Grazie por susus. Topic sentence. Read poorly. Psalm 23 becomes background music instead of a rule of life. Misunderstanding 1. This is a funeral lullaby. Reply. David says, even when I walk. Language of ongoing journey, not a eulogy. Rod and staff only appear when there's work ahead. Misunderstanding 2. If God leads, the road is easy and straight. Reply. Paths of righteousness means right, not necessarily smooth. Salvation history agrees. Joseph, Moses, and supremely Jesus walked right roads paved with testing. Righteousness may be sweaty, lonely, even tearful, but led by God. Misunderstanding 3. Comfort means no discipline or confrontation. Reply. The rod and staff comfort, which means comfort can include correction. A timely pullback saves us from the drop. Closed doors, delays, and reroutes can be protection, not punishment. Summary. Remove these 3 myths and Psalm 23 becomes a tactical order for the soul. Rest right, walk right, fight right. Topic sentence. From grass to table, Psalm 23, trains disciples in 3 beats. Rest, walk, confront. Idea 1. Rest. Rest is a command of love. The shepherd makes the sheep lie down, a verb that jars the self-reliant. In a culture that glorifies exhaustion, God breaks our pace to save us. Rest isn't emotional luxury, it's a survival mechanism. Fear calmed, friction lowered, hunger fed, irritation soothed. Peace doesn't just arrive, it's established by the shepherd. This is why Jesus says, "Come to me, and I will give you rest." Matthew chapter 11, verses 28 through 30. Rest is the discipline of trust. Idea 2. Walk. The right road can twist. Paths of righteousness is a double term, ethics and strategy. The right route may snake for strategic safety. The shepherd goes ahead, John chapter 10, verses 3 through 4, reading terrain, clearing obstacles, adjusting pace. Silence isn't absence. Often it's leadership that trains us to follow instead of drag him along. Reframe failure as a grace GPS. Recalculations aren't always from sin, but from a higher destination. Idea 3. Confront. Honor in the battlefield. God doesn't promise to erase enemies. He sets a table in their line of sight. Victory, then, isn't always elimination. It's elevation in tension. Oil on the head protects and appoints. Shepherd oil repels pests. Sacred oil marks vocation. 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 13. An overflowing cup is mission supply, not indulgence. And goodness and mercy pursue. Radaf, shattering the religion of running from our past. God's kindness hunts us down, as Jesus met Peter by the charcoal fire. John chapter 21. Summary. These 3 beats fuse in one person, Jesus, the Good Shepherd. John chapter 10, verse 11. Who both leads and is pierced, turning battlefields into banquets, tears into anointing, and bends in the road into the right way. Topic sentence. Turn comfort into a rule of life. Move from moved to measured. Step 1. Scheduled rest, week 1. Block 2 45-minute windows each day named Green Pastures. No phone, no multitasking. Slow read Psalm 23. Breathe 4, 7, 8. Note which of the 4 disruptors, fear, friction, hunger, pests, is loudest. Metric, at least 10 of 14 sessions in 7 days. Step 2. Still waters practice, weeks 1 to 2. Each afternoon, a 20-minute walk without audio. Pray one short line, Lord, lead me beside quiet waters. Record one decision you don't need to rush. Metric. Self-rated stress drops between start and finish. Step 3. Paths of righteousness map, weeks 2 to 3. Sketch 3 current forks, work, relationship, habit. Under each, list morally right and strategically wise. Ask a trusted mentor to weigh in. Metric. Pick one small step within 7 days. Email, call, cancellation. Step 4. Responding to rod and staff, month long. When a door shuts or a change stings, write 3 lines. Is this a pullback or a strike on my behalf? If protection, I thank you for. Metric. Convert 70% of complaints into gratitude. Step 5. Table among enemies, week 4. Choose one hostile context: office, online circle, set a small table, authentic compliment, hidden generosity, or concrete help. Metric: do it 3 times. Journal feelings and outcomes. Goal: learn to stand rather than hide. Summary: these 5 steps turn Psalm 23 from wall art into calendar life. Rest, walk, confront. Our finish isn't thanks for the comfort, but a decision about who holds the rod. Psalm 23 opens with, "The Lord is my shepherd," and closes with, "I will dwell in the house of the Lord for length of days." From trust to home, that's the Psalm's straight line. In the next 48 hours, do 2 things. First, message a friend in a valley and read aloud Psalm 23 verse 4, just 1 verse, but read it out loud. Second, choose one concrete, right path step and take it now, no waiting for inspiration, simple obedience. If this psalm has gripped you, share which single phrase you need to turn into a practice, not just a feeling. Lie down, quiet waters, rod and staff. And if you'd like, commit to a 7-day slow reading of Psalm 23, 1 beat per day. Rest, walk, confront. You are being pursued by grace. Let goodness and mercy finally catch you today.